Windmoor Healthcare provides inpatient and outpatient treatment for behavioral health and substance abuse to adults and older adults in Clearwater, Florida. And in fact, we are going to be talking about the confidential level of care, even assessments that are available 24/7. And with more, I am happy to welcome in Marty Marone, outpatient manager, and Drew Decker down there, outpatient clinician. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
I want to ask, right, even just before we get started here, mental health, it is so much, it's in the headlines, yet there's still a stigma surrounding it. I mean, Tampa Bay Lightning player even stepping away for being open about mental health issues. How important is it for us to have conversations like this to be able to continue to change that stigma, Marty?
Sure. So it's important that we continue to talk about mental health in the same way we would talk about physical health, or the same way that we would look at anything that really is going to be important to us. Mental health has quite a taboo around it. A lot of people, because you can't see someone suffering necessarily, if they're having depression, anxiety, and other issues, it's almost as if it doesn't actually exist, but it does, and it affects everyone every day in different aspects. And so the more that we can normalize the conversation, the easier it is to start having these conversations.
Well, and of course, having the conversations, hopefully changing the stigma, the more we do talk about this, hear about it. Self-care before you go ahead and take a step to maybe seek professional help. What are some ways that people can kind of focus on their own mental health, perhaps in a self-care way, and making sure that they're getting to the level that's a healthy place for people to be?
Yeah.
True?
Well, like Marty said, physical health is just as important as mental health, and just having a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle is going to do so much to improve our mental health. Physical activity, finding things that we enjoy, living a life that we find fulfilling and satisfying, and especially community. And that's part of why we have these conversations, is to increase the community that talks about these things and is there to support people through mental health journeys.
When I was introducing you and talking about Windmoor Health, of course, I said something about 24/7 you were able to get assessments. Mm-hmm. Talk about that service and why that is so important for people, whether they're in the Clearwater area or not.
Absolutely. So there's different levels of care when it comes to mental health. Windmoor, we offer both inpatient and outpatient services and treatment. Mental health doesn't take a break. Mental health does not do a 9 to 5. It doesn't take off PTO or have weekends. Yes. And so we want to make sure that should anyone be in any kind of crisis, or even just have questions about what it would look like to receive treatment, that we have people available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we are never closed. We're never closed, and we're always open, because you never know what day could be that day where enough is enough and you want to do something about it.
Well, and say you want to do something more, just in closing, before we share your contact information for Windmoor, what would you tell people who are on the fence and they're like, I think I can deal with this with myself, or maybe someone has a loved one that they're starting to concern? What are those steps? What does that first step look like in seeking treatment? Yeah,
of course. There's a lot of great resources out there today, but I think the first thing is to find those places in the community like us that have those really public, forward-facing resources. Like, you can call and at any time, like Marty said, and talk to someone who's trained and who is there to listen and has a passion for helping people navigate mental health journeys. There's so many resources out there, and just finding those resources is what we hope to help people do.
I really liked how you just said, seek people who have a passion to help and help with mental health. I really like that. It's a perfect way to go ahead and share the website too. If you or someone you know is looking for help, maybe questioning if help is right for them, go ahead and reach out. That 24/7, as we were talking about, or their website, windmoor.com.